My name is Elin. I work for Capgemini. I've been working here for almost 2 years now, and I'm the accidental security professional. I never planned on getting into security. I never even planned on getting into IT. I am actually a trained hairdresser. That is me. I'm giving my little nephew a haircut. He's 16 now, so that's a really old photo. A couple of years was an unstructured mess, so we won't go any further into that. But then I started working in IT support, and I got curious. I wanted to know a little bit more about IT. So I signed up for a bachelor's program in IT and information systems. And when you go back to school at the age of 29, like I did, you will have a few panic attacks. But school wasn't as scary as I thought it was gonna be, and I wasn't even the oldest person there. So after a few years, I decided I wanted to go to Australia for a semester abroad. That's why my accent's a little weird. I went to Queensland University of Technology, and I signed up for a information security unit. And during lessons and lectures, I learned that in Australia they have this local security hero, a bloke named Troy Hunt. At that time, I had no idea who he was, nor that he'd have an impact on my future career choices. Anyway, I graduated when I was 32, and I'm very proud of myself for doing that, because going back to school at the age of 29 and leaving a full-time job and learning how to become a student again, that was very challenging for me. But being an older student also had a few advantages. And one of those was that I couldn't keep up with the younglings when it came to partying and stuff like that. Because when they decided to go out partying on a Wednesday night, I decided I should rather stay at home and focus on my studies. Because I had been through that Wednesday night partying a few years ago. I didn't have to do that all over again. I started working in IT operations and support. I was good at my job, but it wasn't what I wanted to do. I had no idea what I wanted to do until a friend of mine went to NDC and told me about this really cool talk he'd been to with this Australian security expert. Well, Troy Hunt, I knew his name, and I started reading his blog and watching YouTube videos. And then I started reading articles and other blog posts, and I even started looking at training programs, because this is what I want to do. I want to be in security. And I had just been through some major life changes. I was almost 33, and I wasn't sure if I was ready to do that all over again. But I gave it a try and applied for a few jobs and talked to a few people. But I was rejected more often than my friends at the pub, because I didn't have the right education or I didn't have enough experience. But then I was invited to a second job interview at Capgemini, and I met this tall Irish bloke with a big red beard. And for the first seconds I met him, he looked a little bit like this. But then he started talking, and he transformed into this. His name is Niall Murrigan. He is the head of cybersecurity at Capgemini Norway. Funny thing about Niall is that he may seem a little bit intimidating to begin with, but then he starts talking. And when he starts talking, he never stops. So he's only scary for about 2 seconds tops. He's my boss. I'm allowed to say that. The interview wasn't quite as I had expected. I was expecting a technical interview. Instead, I got a conversation where I got to talk. And I told Niall about my journey so far, what I had done for myself to get here, the hard work I've been putting down for the last few years. And I didn't have a lot of experience, but I did have the interest and passion for this. And I didn't just wake up one morning and, hey, I want to be in security. I was determined to change my career. And Niall saw that. So he invited me to join his team. And I know Niall's listening now, and I know he's a little bit embarrassed with me talking about him like this, but he encouraged me to do this talk. And for that, I'm allowed to embarrass him a little bit. After all, I'm the one standing up here being all nervous while he's sitting comfortably in his chair. I showed up to my first day at work as a security newbie, and I started my training. I had absolutely no idea what I was doing, except from that I knew it was going to be a lot of hard work and a lot of new things to learn. There I was a total newbie sitting amongst dinosaurs with like 10, 15, 20 years of experience, even more. And I wanted to be just as good as they were. But luckily, I realized early that I couldn't go from being a total newbie to having 15 years of experience in just a few months. Building a career takes time. But the dinosaurs, they took the role as my mentors. And for that, I'm forever grateful because they have been a major help for me. After a few months of a lot of hard work and a lot of new information, I was asked if I wanted to go to a conference and also to a business dinner where I'd probably meet Troy Hunt and Scott Helm and Stephen Hunt. And of course, I said yes to that. You don't turn down that opportunity. This is me, I'm in the middle. I thought I should point that out. Well, this is people I look up to. And before I met them, I thought that being as good as they are is next to impossible. But when I started talking to them, I realized that this is normal, down to earth, really nice guys who have worked really hard to get where they are. And even though they don't have normal jobs, they are living normal lives. They are hanging out with their friends and spending time with their families. And that was very motivating and also important for me to see, because I realized that my rock stars are human and they started out as newbies just like me. And starting my life over and starting a new career at a grown-up age was challenging, but this has been an adventure and I'll never regret doing it. Even though I do have a job in security now, it doesn't mean that I'm done learning or that my adventure is over. My adventure has just started and there is so many things I want to learn. So I'm still spending some of my free time. I'm looking at reading articles and watching documentaries. And when I go to the gym, I listen to the Darknet Diaries. That's a podcast I've been following for quite a while. And I don't do this because I have to. I do it because I want to and because I enjoy it. And this is a really good way for me to build my career. If I could go back in time and give my younger self a few words of wisdom, that's a photo of me when I'm 2 years old. It's a cliche, but I think it would be, don't give up. Things may seem impossible from time to time, but if you are determined enough, you will be surprised how much you can handle. And if there's anyone out there who want to do what I did, I want you to know that it's challenging, but it is absolutely possible. Being in security is not a 8 to 4 job. It's a hobby, more of a lifestyle. And my recommendation is not to do it alone. Find yourself a couple of mentors. Pick up a few dinosaurs who can guide you in the right direction and let you in on the secrets they wish they knew when they were newbies. I know people don't want to hear this, but be prepared to be told no. When you are told no, it doesn't mean that people don't want to help you or that you have failed or that you should give up. For every no, there is another opportunity somewhere else. And show people that you're willing to learn and ask stupid questions and get all the experience you can. For example, I'm a blue teamer. I work with governance, risk, and compliance in a red team. So I'm technically a cat amongst dogs. And that is very good for my development in my career. And set yourself a few reachable goals and challenge yourself a little bit. Being as good as Troy and those guys, it is absolutely a reachable goal, but it's a long-term goal. And you need a few short-term goals that would really boost your confidence. And they say that timing is everything. Well, timing is actually more about being at the right place at the right time. So show up to events and accept the invitations you get. Let people know you're there and that you're interested, because you never know when you're going to meet the right people. This is just a few of the things I check in on weekly. That's me. I'm active on Twitter. I use it mainly to stalk people, but I'll be really happy if you follow me or message me. Thank you everyone for watching.